One of the regions I'm most interested in is the region of Rome. So I've been doing a lot of reading on Rome. And while I was reading, I started to notice some patterns. And those patterns were that some of the things that I was wanting to remember when I was determining importance kind of started to fall into some categories. And those categories reminded me of our institutions that we have been studying about. So I decided to organize my information in a civilization tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I took this information and created a civilization tree. Some of my important information I already have placed on the civilization tree for you, and I've got a few others that I need to place. And one of the things that I found that was important was that only the students from the richest families had private tutors. That was how they got their education. So I went and I was going to put my leaf just on education. But then I realized that they're from the richest families. It can't just fall under education. It actually falls under social class too. So I'm going to place my leaf on education, but I'm also going to draw an arrow to show that not only is that one fall under education, but it also falls under social class. Something else that I found that I wanted to remember was that they had a paved road system in Rome. The first thing I thought of there was transportation, because to me roads worked with transportation, but the more I thought about it, that was also a form of technology. So I put my leaf on transportation, but I also wanted to connect that it was technology as well. The gladiators that we read about, we all know that those were entertaining, so I put those in entertainment. But as we just read the other day, gladiators were also a part of that middle class. So that was also part of the social class system. Women could not be part of government. Well, it says right there that that's government, but the fact that women couldn't be part of it, that also led into social class. So those two were connected. Moons and stars were named after Roman gods. The fact that they named their stars made me think of language, but it also says they were named after Roman gods. So that connected language with religion. They made beautiful statues. That thought made me think of art. But the people in those statues were usually gods or some of their leaders. So it connected both to religion and government. They also made temples for the gods. The temples made me think of architecture, but because it was for the gods, that connected religion and architecture. Grammar schools to study literature and writing were something that I found was important, because grammar schools were education, but it said it connected literature, and it also said and writing, which then took me over to language. July was a month that they named after Julius Caesar. I put that as part of language because they named it, but Julius Caesar was a leader, so that connected language and government. And they also wrote myths about how they interacted with their gods, which are a form of literature, but because they wrote about their gods, that connected it to religion. Now, as you can see, while I tried to categorize these in all the institutions, all of these institutions reminded me of a vocabulary word that we've been working with, because I see all these lines going between the different institutions, and I know inter is a prefix that means between, and that made me think of our vocabulary words. And I automatically thought of interdependence. All of these institutions were interdependent on each other. They were all connected. So now you have an idea. I did mine on a Rome civilization tree. Now you can go and make your own civilization tree.